If you're a career woman and you're in your 20s or you are in your late 20s, there are certain career mistakes that you are consciously making and you have no idea you're actually making those mistakes. And most times we realize those mistakes later on in life. And today we're going to talk about those mistakes that we are unconsciously making as career women. Three mistakes we are unconsciously making. And I'm sharing this from my experience and also from what I've seen from other people. As somebody who is always spending her time reading blogs, articles, and basically things from people who are constantly sharing their experience and things that you should actually learn and unlearn before it's too late. So if you're a career woman who is still young, preferably in her 20s, in her late 20s, or in her early 30s, let's quickly talk about some of these mistakes that you may be making, that I may be making, or I have made, and how we can actually catch up before the time is late. Hi, my name is Vicky, and in this channel, I am dedicated to sharing meaningful lessons for women like me, women who are looking to live and enjoy the most holistic and fulfilling life, an authentic life that feels like yes, this life was actually designed for us. And today, we're going to talk about career, unconscious career mistakes that you are making as a woman in her 20s. Number one, waiting for the right time before you start a side hustle while having your 9 to 5. But having a side hustle does not necessarily mean you're building an entirely big business or company outside from what you're already doing on your day-to-day role at home. It's just basically how else do you earn apart from your monthly salary from your 9 to 5? That's basically what a side hustle is. It's just like what other means of income or what other source of income or sources of income do you have without depending on your salary? And having a side hustle does not always mean that you have to go and like register a company and start running a company and still keep your 9 to 5. And yes, it's actually not easy because I've had a 9 to 5. I've tried to juggle a 9 to 5 and other side hustles, and it wasn't so easy. But the thing about side hustles is that it's something that you can nurture little by little. And in case you get laid off or something just happens, and maybe your job is not giving you as much money, or maybe you somehow lose your job, or you decide to quit your job and find something else doing, that side hustle is like the kind of foundation that you have built behind the scenes. And for you to have a side hustle, I would strongly advise that you pick from something that you're already good at, something that is quite easy for you to do, something that is quite easy for you to juggle with your 9 to 5. For some people, it's easier for them to be maybe an interior designer while still being like a software developer in their company, or being a form of manager or something in their company and run like a farm at home. I don't know how they do that, but for some people, it's quite easy for them. So if you're not in that kind of category and you don't know how to juggle something like this, why don't you start with the skills you're already offering at your company? For example, let's say you're working as an executive assistant at your company, or you are working as a form of, media and communications manager. You could actually start offering consulting services to other businesses. Another side hustle you can consider is content creation. A lot of people can yap like me. So just turn on your camera and start yapping about something people would actually want to hear. And from there, you can build a community and start selling digital products, or you just get monetized on YouTube like I'm deciding to do, or build a community, or create a business when you have an audience or something like that. But the point is, consider a side hustle. Stop waiting for the perfect time to start that side hustle. You need to stop waiting for the perfect time. There is no perfect time. The only perfect time is now. And because of the way the whole world is uncertain about the job market, things are changing really fast, AI, and people are getting laid off a lot. Kind of hard to get a job compared to life before. So you want to consider having a side hustle today. Number two, staying in a job longer than you're supposed to, even after it doesn't fulfill you. I feel like this is a trap that a lot of people fall into, and I almost fell into that trap if I had listened to people when I was about to quit my job. I have a video where I talked about, experimenting with my life and how I quit my 9 to 5, even if I wasn't very certain. It's not something I would always advise people to do. But I'll tell you one thing for sure. If you're really interested in having a fulfilling life, a life that, you are actually happy with yourself, and you're not just doing things to fulfill or righteousness, trust me, there is nothing that would ever make up for a time lost at a job that made you very unhappy. I have read so much biographies, so much autobiographies or whatever. I've read so many, articles, blogs, podcasts on life lessons and everything. And I always hear people say things like, I wish I left my job when I had the chance to. I wish I looked for other jobs when I had the time to. I wish I did not spend so much time in a job that made me unhappy, which I believe you are for you watching this video. I don't know. But if you're still young, please stop wasting your time. at a job that either doesn't pay you well, you're not learning enough that is what the pay or what's the experience or the torture you're torturing yourself, or that job is not even giving you any form of self-fulfillment, I beg you, please do not waste your time. Stop thinking that somehow life is going to make things easier at that job. Companies that are bad, and I've never heard of a company that was bad before and all of a sudden they became good. My power went out, so we're going to continue our videos like that because my power went out and there's nothing I can do about it. Okay, let's say you're 25 and you're in this job that really makes you very unhappy and there is no form of self-fulfillment at all in that job. Before you know it, 5 years in a job, you're 30. So like it's not like 30 is old or anything, like being 30 is old, but what happens, like, it's not as easier as like when you were actually 26 and you had, will I say, the more ginger to like play more risk. Now I'm not saying that you cannot play risk at 30, but like, let's be very realistic. Sometimes it's easier and better to take certain risk when you're younger than when you're actually older, because you take a risk when you're 22 versus when you take a risk when you're 27. It's like entirely different. Number three is never asking for a raise or negotiating your salary because you think you're not good enough, or the fear of losing the opportunity. Asking for a raise and salary negotiation generally is, I feel like, one of the hardest things for people who are still starting out in their career to do, because you might feel like, okay, what if I negotiate or I mention this particular amount of money that I believe I'm worth, and then they suddenly tell me no. But the truth is that you have to keep trying. You have to keep trying. I don't have the perfect tip for that, but I'll tell you, you have to keep trying. Because me, one of the reasons why I feel like I still don't have a job right now is because I've been extremely stubborn about the kind of jobs that I actually want. I'm not, you know, jobless or unemployed because I've not seen a job or something. Sometimes I reject jobs because like I'm not comfortable with the salary, and I know that the job expects me to do things that are going to cost me more than whatever it is they want to pay me. So always, always, always be willing to state your worth. Don't sit down and wait and think that they're automatically going to understand that you are valuable and give you the money. Because the thing about adulting is that nobody's going to offer it to you on a platter of gold. You have to go and find the platter and put the gold inside, or convert the platter to gold and still put gold on top of it and serve yourself. You have to go out there and actually request for the things you want. So let me know which of these mistakes you have been unconsciously making in your career, and is there any mistake that you've realized from experience that you have made and you know it was actually a mistake to you. We are done making that mistake. Let me know in the comments. If you learned anything new, let me know in the comments. If you like this video, also let me know in the comments. Please share this video with a sister who is also a career woman and who is looking to live an authentic, fulfilling life and have the best of the best career, so that she can learn from my experience and others' experience, so that she don't go around making the same mistake. My name is Gigi. Please leave a like, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next video.